Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to We Love Metal. I am honored to be on the phone with Hiran of Battlecross. How you doing, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good. March 2nd, Halifax, Nova Scotia, the Kennard Centre, in support of the Legends in Flames. How's the show's been so far?
Awesome. Amazing. The In Flames guys are awesome. All the bands are awesome. And the crowds are fantastic. Canada has been amazing so far for us, so stoked.
Is this your first trip to Atlantic, Canada?
Well, we've been to Toronto before. We played Toronto and Montreal and Ottawa.
Well, what can us Blue Nosers expect out here from you?
Nothing but straight to the point, no bullshit, energetic thrash metal. We are basically set out to just kick you guys in the ass, and I think we've been doing that pretty well every night. Yeah, man, we're full of energy, and we're out to prove that the first band does not have to suck.
I've got to ask, is it intimidating touring with such big names? I mean, you guys have been on the road with other big names, but this is In Flames.
Yeah, you know what? It's not intimidating. It's more humbling than anything. We're really just honored to be on a tour with these guys, and you know, we can't do anything else but go out there and kick ass, and you know, we respect all the bands, and we, you know, any bands that we tour with, but we always set out to do our thing and make a name for ourselves on that stage. So that's what we're set out to do, is just kick ass and make sure that all their fans remember who the fuck we are.
Well, I got to tell you, man, back 2011, we started writing about you when the album came out. You guys gained a reputation then for a live show. With these long tours, where do you get the energy to pull this off night after night?
I don't know, man. I walk off that stage exhausted some days. You know what? It's just we've been doing it for so long. I mean, even just we always have been like that as a band. You know, I always try to give 1,000% every night, and you know, you can't really go too crazy on the partying. You know, I don't. You know, I drink and have a few beers, but I don't get wasted every night, or you know, or get bombed before a performance. You know, we're very focused on what we do. So when we're out here doing what we're supposed to do, we're doing that. And you know, the fun is later. You know, when you have time for it. So that's the way we kind of work. Is we're set up to make a name for ourselves, and we don't bullshit around.
Well, being one of the founding members of the band, do you ever look back? I mean, you're touring the world with a Metal Blade deal. That must be surreal to a certain extent.
Absolutely. I mean, this is everything that you work for and dream of, and then we're doing it. You know, and sometimes you gotta stand back and you kind of pinch yourself and go, "Holy shit! Like, we're living this. This is our lives. Every day we get to play on these stages, with these badass bands, and for these awesome crowds, and it's unreal, man. I mean, yeah, this is what you dream of and you work so hard for, and you get to that step, and you know, you just got to keep pushing, though. You know, I'm not settling. I'm not happy until I've played every corner of the world. So.
Well, you guys had an incredible album. I mean, Pursuit of Honor was amazing. Are you feeling some pressure to follow that up?
Oh yeah. I mean, the intention of this next album is to outdo what we did on the first album, and you know, we're definitely going to push ourselves. We're pushing ourselves on these songs, and you know, I think we're going to add a little more dynamic to each song. I think each song is going to have its own character, and but nonetheless, it's just going to be straightforward, energetic metal.
Is it progressing well, or you find it hard with all the touring you're doing?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is it progressing well, or are you finding it difficult with all the touring that you guys are doing?
It's progressing, you know, and we had some time off to write and whatnot, and it is kind of hard to write for us to write on the road, especially just because when you're, you know, you have a time schedule, you got to be somewhere at a certain time. When we're in a van, we're not on a bus, so we don't get that luxury of, you know, being able to do anything in the van, and then, you know, not every place has a green room or an area for you to set up and whatnot, so it's kind of tough in that sense, but I mean, we're always thinking of stuff, and like I said, when we were at home, it was crunch time for us, and we were writing every day and practicing and working on the stuff. So the songs are pretty much done. It's just now tweaking and then making sure. And I think we're going to do that when we go into the studios, do a little pre-production there too, and then tweak out the songs and hammer those out, and make sure everything is perfect.
Why, with the style you guys play? I mean, it is thrash. It's old school thrash. Why do you think that is making such a huge comeback right now?
I don't know. Maybe it's something that just kind of comes full circle, or I don't know. For us, we definitely had the thrash sound and the old school influence, but I don't think that we're really like the throwback thrash bands that you see. We do definitely have that sound, but we put our own style to it as well. But as far as thrash goes, that's, to me, that's kind of like the essence of where a lot of the metal has spawned. Death metal has kind of spawned from that, and little things have spawned from thrash metal, and then everything kind of comes from somewhere. And then Metallica were kind of like basically the band that kind of like, I think, put the umph and the balls into metal, and then I think everything kind of came from that. But everything's obviously influenced from something else, and it's thrash to me I think it's the catchiest when it comes to metal. And I think the riffs, when guitars really drive the song, that really helps kind of keep stuff, it basically gives a song a good structure and a good sound, and I think that's what stays in people's heads, and that's kind of the way we write. We just, our stuff is very guitar driven, so I think thrash is just coming back because, I think some people are maybe just kind of sick of the same songs or same bands that all sound the same, and some of that, so they kind of go back to the roots and discover the bands that where everybody came from.
Well, if you go back in time a little bit and let me reiterate what you said, Battlecross definitely has a modern spin on thrash, that's for sure. But if you look back to the past, the big four, huge thing right now. Do you agree with those four bands that are sitting up there in that spot?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I definitely do. I definitely think that they earned the throne and deserve it, and those are the bands those are the records that they put out that influenced a lot of other bands. So, for sure, the Big Four is what is kind of, that they've influenced tons and tons of bands. So, definitely.
It must be a good spot with the music you guys play. You guys can play anything from opening for one of those big bands, headlining your own shows, to playing with metalcore bands. Is that something you intuitively write to, or is that just the style you play?
That's just what we do. We don't intend to write any style or be any sort of way. We just do what we want to do, and when we go in with the song idea, it's not to sound a certain way. It's just something that sounds good to us, and everything kind of just comes together the way it is. And we're just a band that's open to play with whoever, and I think we hold our own in any element just because of I think we mix the genres a little bit too in what we do. But it's just there's no preconceived idea or anything that we do. It just kind of comes out.
Well, I've got a question, man. I ask everyone just to wrap up. Any one piece of advice you could give young musicians starting out? Like, if you could say one thing to help them, what would it be?
It would be don't expect anything, work hard, and don't give up. It's hard, and it only gets harder once you get signed. It takes a lot of sacrifice and dedication, and you really have to stick with that. And you can't expect anything. Be humble and work and earn it. Don't expect the world to be handed to you. Don't expect things to get easier.
Well, thank you very much for that, man. March 2nd, Saturday night, Halifax, Nova Scotia. I encourage everyone to be there. You guys have been on our list since 2011, and I certainly appreciate you taking the time to do this.
No problem. Thank you so much for playing us, and we really appreciate it. We can't wait to play for you guys.